Hey everybody, it's Dave Cooper and Jennifer, and we are coming to you live with episode number 31 of Building Modular. How exciting is this? I mean, it's about as exciting as this whole election that's happening, right? It's exciting.
I know there's so much going on, but yes, 31 weeks of Building Modular where we're trying to bring you some knowledge, share with you some of our experience, shine a spotlight on things that normally doesn't get that spotlight, bring people into the fold like today.
Yep.
And because it's such a crazy day, we're trying a couple of new things here on LinkedIn. We set this event up on an event page.
We did.
As opposed to our normal.
Well, we did. No, well, we always do the events. Hey, Mark Willie, just we went live on the event this time, but weird enough, it makes it harder to share. We had to go back to the event page. So if you're watching this, if you could like and share it, because I don't know how it's streaming to the regular profiles, that would be a big help because we want everybody to join in with us today. So Jennifer, with that said, I want to say a big thank you to Stonepile College, right? So if you're not familiar with Stonepile College, it is the first, and at least that I know of, a college that is based around offsite construction, where you can get an associate's degree, a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and guess what, Jennifer?
Tell us.
You don't need SAT scores. You need a high school diploma and write why you want to go to this school to get an associate's, bachelor, or master's degree. And that's how you get accepted. Surely there's a lot of us out there, because guess what, Jennifer?
Tell us.
They're teaching us the way we want to learn, not the traditional academic way. This school is really set up for those who like to work with their hands and use their minds. So all the way to a master's degree. So Stonepile College, please use our URL, stonepile.us/DCL. Okay, we have somebody waiting outside in the cold. I don't know if it's that cold there, but it might be. We don't want to keep them there for that long. Mm-hmm. Should we bring them in?
Definitely. We're so excited to introduce everybody today to someone you may already know. Bill, why don't you join us?
Hey, Bill, welcome to the show.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, Bill Spohn. So welcome. You're outside. Maybe we'll do like the background of who you are and what you do. Once you're in a little bit of a warmer environment, you're out there.
We can chat at length.
Right?
Yeah. So it looks like a beautiful sunny day. How's the weather?
It's not too bad. It's about 40 degrees. In fact, my wife named this property Sunnyfield because when we first bought it, it was just a big sunny field. And that's what you're looking at here. So we built on Sunnyfield.
Well, I love it. So what's so great about this, I wrote it, kind of like the electric dance, all electric, right? This is an electric modular home. Now, Bill, you are somebody that is in the building performance market. Mm-hmm. You understand this stuff. You have TruTech Tools as well that helps building auditors and people test the equipment that they use to audit homes for energy efficiency. You could have chose any form of construction to build your house, but you chose to use modular, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I think if we had had a builder who understood high performance, good air sealing, proper insulation, thermal breaks, that kind of thing, we probably would have gone stick built. But in the process of searching, we came across modular and specifically EcoCraft homes and just fell in love with the whole process.
Yeah, great. So you're right outside of Pittsburgh, PA, just so everybody knows where Bill is at. So that's exciting. My hometown, love it.
Yeah.
Pound 412, everybody, I guess is what they say in Pittsburgh. All right. So Bill, so you're not standing outside in the cold. We're going to talk about your house. We're going to talk about the process. And we're going to give you a couple walkthroughs today. Right now, Bill's going to give us a little bit of a talk about the exterior of the home, how they place the home on the property. And then we are going to move inside, sit down, have a more detailed conversation. And then about halfway through, we're going to start taking a tour of the inside of the home. So we're going to bring you a whole lot of building performance right now. So go ahead, Bill. I'm going to put you on full screen. Why don't you tell us what we're looking at?
Sure. What you're seeing here is the front of the house. And I got it back up so you get a full view here. Running backwards. If I fall, guys, it's on your insurance. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're good. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So this is the front of the house, obviously, and there's wildlife around. There's the mourning doves. They come out of the grass all the time. That's a detached car garage, 3-car garage, and a breezeway in between. We wanted the breezeway for some shelter, but also some sunlight, chance to go outside without having to create a whole porch effect on the front of the house. We were inspired by designs that we saw from Europe. In fact, I could show you the exact house in Ireland that this looks like, sort of like a cathedral look. And the house is on Church Lane, actually. So this all fits in, it all ties in together. We're right next to a couple that own a horse, that's a show horse, a riding horse. And across the street, the one we bought the land from owns 3 horses. And in the distance there, you'll see the solar array.
Yeah.
32 panels. And that's what we intend to make this net zero with. I'll give you a quick walk around the back. The windows are passive house windows, triple pane, made by a company called Ventana that happens to have a factory only about 90 minutes from where we're located. So we got an egress door for a basement room, or egress window, excuse me.
Yeah.
Here's the hookup for the electrical and the solar, net meter, etc. You see right there. We're heating and cooling with a unit by Detson. It's a 2-ton air source heat pump, and that's for 4,400 square feet of living space.
Wow.
If you do the ratios on that, it's quite unusual.
So even just visually, Bill, I mean, that's an incredibly small unit for such a large home.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And we'll get into the performance of that, but yeah, that you wouldn't be able to use that in my home, I can tell you now.
Yeah, we did 2 different types of models. One, we actually did a passive house model as well as a manual J by ECA, and both of them came up at 2 tons. What I'm showing you here are the ERV. We use a conditioning ERV that actually has a heat pump built into it. This is the exhaust and the inlet for the ERV there. And we have a deck in back.
Yeah.
Patio doors, which are also passive house doors. I'll show you
So
how they work on the inside.
Are they from the same provider as the windows?
Right. They don't make entry doors.
Yeah.
But they do happen to make the patio door, and we kind of fell in love with the concept of keeping it all within that energy efficient environment.
Sure.
Absolutely. And talk about close to home. You said it's only 90 miles away?
Yeah, it's a factory in Export, PA.
Outstanding.
Yeah. Absolutely. We were there with Brian Gaudio not too long ago.
Right.
I love it.
Oh, yeah, Brian, you're right.
Yep. We were there.
And this is a 3-car detached garage, rainwater harvesting.
Outstanding. Looks like a smiley face.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's happy. It's drinking water. Oh, so we froze up. There you go. All right. So we see the garage doors. Your Wi-Fi is freezing up a little bit, Bill.
Okay.
So all right. So yeah, it's coming back, but probably we'll work our way back to the inside. First of all, let me just tell you, it's a beautiful home.
Thank you.
It really is a beautiful home. I can imagine how excited you guys are to get inside there and start living in it and enjoying the fruits of 0 to no utility bills, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's the whole exciting part of this. So, all right. So you're going inside. We see that. And you're already set up. So we're set up with another camera right here. We're going to switch to Bill's setup, and then we're going to get into this, and we're going to talk about all the things that you put into the home.
Yeah, outstanding. And some of the details as well, for everybody out there who's watching, Bill, thank you so much for that tour as you warm up. This is definitely on the fly, having him go outside and do this. So thank you so much for sharing your beautiful home, and we can't wait to hear your story.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
So
make sure I turn the volume off or something here. Okay.
Yeah, so Bill, with all of this, here you go. I mean, it's you and your wife, so Walk us through the process on why you decided modular. All right. So one, it was about finding somebody. I guess it was the lack of somebody that had the capabilities to do NetZero, is what you were saying.
So I do a couple podcasts. One I do for ResNet, and been sort of introduced to the passive house concept. And we originally intended to build a passive house, full-on passive rated certified house. We actually contracted with a passive house architect. When we went to look for builders that could build to that standard,
yeah,
we found 5 people that were certified to be passive house. 2 of them do commercial, one of them does roofing, and I don't know how that ties in with passive. And then there was EcoCraft, which does modular. And it's like, yeah, I've heard about this modular stuff. You know, I know the whole thing with, you know, if houses were built like cars or cars were built like houses, you know, the kind of the inverse of that. And I was like, that appeals to me with all the materials undercover, you know, the workforce coming to work every day versus them coming to the work. You know, having things kind of staged in because you have the urgency of a factory where everything has to move through at a certain pace in order to keep the business going. All the materials got to be there. Everything's got to be accounted for. All the decisions got to be made in advance. And being an engineer by background, I like process. And this appealed to my sense of process. So we found EcoCraft as the builder, and then they work with Structural Modular Incorporated, SMI, in Strattonville, Pennsylvania, yeah, which is only about 80 miles from here. Mm-hmm. And that's where the modules are built.
Wow. Wow. So when did you start this process? You know, how far back? Can you talk us through the timeline?
Sure. Actually, the seminal point was, what are we going to do when we retire? We need to have a plan. I'm 61 years old. My wife is 65. You know, what are we going to do? Where are we going to move? Our business is doing well. Let's prepare for our new location. So we decided eventually in 2017 it was going to be in Pittsburgh area. So in early 2018 we started looking for pieces of land. And we found this piece of land here, 3 acres, and then started the process of designing the house. First passive, and then transitioning to high performance. And actually, I believe it would certify as a low energy home under the passive standard. So it's a high performance home.
Yeah.
Terrific.
Right.
Terrific. And when was the home set on the foundation?
So we signed the documents for the final design. You might know, maybe they use the term hard card in the industry, where everything, this is exactly what they're going to build.
Pencils down.
Right, no touching anything. That was August 22nd, 2018.
Okay.
On October 1st, 2018, they started construction, and they finished, I think it was on November 2nd, 2019.
Okay.
So we had trouble with, we thought we could tie to a sewer system here. We had ended up putting in septic. So we had to do the drainage issues, the siting issues, had to move the house a little bit, right, before we could get the permit to build here. So that took a while. So the modules are ready in November, and they were sitting wrapped up in the parking lot. It made me very nervous at the factory. But everything turned out okay. They were set January 21st, 2020. And like maybe 10 days before that, they started excavation for the foundation. They also use modular foundation walls.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're built by Specialty Precast,
okay,
which is also a local vendor here. Mm-hmm. They used to build parking lot slabs,
yeah,
parking garages, and they just flipped it on the side, put a cap on either end and insulation in it, and now they've got structural foundations.
Wow.
So interesting. Is it a hollow core wall, or it's not like a Superior walls where it's 4 inches and then they have the foam?
There's foam in it. It's about 8 inches of foam.
Yep.
And it's sort of like a C section, like a C in cross section.
Yeah, for sure. Good. Yeah, and so I'm a big fan of even component foundation wall systems. I really am. My guess is it's 5,000 PSI. It's watertight already. You don't have to seal it. The R value's there. I mean, there's so many benefits to it, especially if you get, right, the stone. Is it sitting on a bed of stone so it can get the drainage?
Yeah, crushed stone. They have a little specification on that with a French drain on either side, inboard and outboard to the wall. Yeah. And then crushed stone, they vibratory compacted down. I was there the day that they put it in and took some video and stuff. It was really cool, craned it off the truck and stuff. And actually, it's interesting. This factory, they're so hypersensitive about their product. The people that build the walls install them. They used to use an install crew and weren't happy with them. So they shut down the factory to do an install.
Great.
So the guys that actually make them put them in place. So that was like a real sense of pride there.
Yeah, all right, I'm going to get on a little bit of a soapbox with this, right? Because I agree with that. I think the factory should set all of their homes, because that's what a consumer really pays for. They don't pay for a house sitting on a truck. You pay for a house or a foundation installed, right? Or it should all come together. So that's great. That's great to know. I did not know that. Let's say hi to a couple of people real quick. We have some fun people. Look at this. We got Jay Lepley from Bensonwood joining us. 2-ton unit heating and cooling, 4,400 square feet. Amazing.
Which, if you don't know Jay, Bill, and you probably do, but that's a very big compliment coming from Jay and the good work that they do at Bensonwood. So lots of fun to have Jay on today. We
actually looked at Bensonwood, but I think we were out of their range at that time. Like we were 450 miles or 550 miles. So
Yeah. Well, Jay, if you don't know Jay, you guys should talk, because you really, Jay is kind of, I'm going to say, Jay's the man at Bensonwood when it comes to high performance building and construction.
Chief steward of sustainability. So
yeah, chief steward. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
How do you remember those terms?
But either way, good to have you on, and lots of great comments and questions from the crowd, because this is our Building Modular show. Yeah. And if you're new to Building Modular, each week we sort of break down the process, the products, the hows, the whys, the checklists. And so today it's really exciting to take it one step forward and talk about high performance home, net zero capable, and the why behind, Bill's choice of modular construction. And we can't wait to hear more about the products and the systems.
No way, man. We're going to climb in the walls today. This is going to be a lot of fun. We want to find out how it's going all the way through. So listen, we got some people out there. Let's just say some quick hellos. All right. We got Henry Chakal. Hello from Intelligent Membranes. Hey, Henry, nice for joining us today. Thank you. We got George Ryman from Surefoot Foundations in hot Phoenix, Arizona. All right. Of course, Mark likes to write his books. Here we go. Let's see. Let's do this one here. Mark's got a couple posts in here. 31 weeks building modular. Mark, Bare Naked Willie, you've probably seen him on our BS Friday show. If everybody's with me on this, I think we should have Mark really dye his beard purple for the next show. Mark, if you're listening, the gauntlet's been dropped.
I think for today, he dyed it red, white, and blue for election day.
Yeah, he probably did, right?
Yeah.
We got John Jaworski. Hey, John, how you doing, buddy? Good afternoon. Good to see you. All right, so, we got some more down here. We got Ryan Wallace joining us from Solar Village in upstate New York. First net zero modular developer in New York. Ryan, awesome. That'd be a good conversation, huh?
Yeah, I've been following Ryan's work.
Yeah. Ryan, we should talk some more. I'd love to hear more about what you guys are doing as well. All right, and Henry had a question. What is the UW value on those windows, please?
I want to say I should have these numbers at my fingertips. I think it's 50.15.
0.15?
Yeah, because they're a little bit different for each window.
I mean, I think windows and doors are such, an important topic. We'll get to them eventually on our BS Friday show. But again, the fact that these were manufactured so close to your job site is such a win,
Oh, man, is it ever, right?
Yeah. And part of what we're trying to do with the show as well is share with people the products that are available, because I'm sure people aren't necessarily seeking out passive house windows. Yeah. But, this show is for homeowners as much as it is for builders, building scientists, and people already in the field. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we're going to give one more shout out before we go back. We got Andrew Seeley joining us from G-Pods. Unique and super cool show. Loves the story of how the house plans went. So, all right, good seeing you, Andrew. And who knows, we may see a little bit more of Andrew this week, but he has not committed yet. All right, I'll throw him under the bus a little bit. All right, so let's get into this, Bill. So you're using a precast concrete foundation,
Right.
which is great. Let's work our way from the slab up. Did you do anything special under your slab for insulation? Walk us through kind of the process.
Sure. There's 2 inches of foam, of course, vapor barrier, compressed aggregate, 2 inches of foam, and then the slab was poured. And to my mind, it was like they poured the slab after they set the house. And I was like, shouldn't that be the other way? And it was, no, it's about the fact that the slab is then allowed to cure in sort of a protected environment because the house is set over it. So that was interesting for me.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And also there's some backfill issues. They got to really pay attention when you're doing these precasts so you don't put too much weight against them. And that slab actually stabilizes the base to allow you to do some backfill. Yeah. I love it. All right. So we have the slab. So you got the insulation underneath. Let's talk about the construction. What did you use for your exterior walls?
The walls are 2x6 on 16-inch centers. There's unfaced fiberglass insulation in the cavity. Then we use zip wall for the exterior. The zip wall, every single nail hole, we had them hit with some sealant, Prosoco.
Yeah, right.
That was an extra detail. We actually had a line item on our build list on the hard card that said energy efficiency details. There was a budget for that because we knew we wanted to spend extra and we really wanted to go crazy on air sealing and get that blower door number as low as we could. So on top of that is layered 1.5 inches of foam. It's Opcore or Neopore. Those are like the brand names. Those are the ones with the interesting property, whereas the exterior temperature goes down, the R value goes up. It's an amazing thing. It's got to do with boron impregnation of the material itself. So the effective value is between R7 and 7.5 for the 1.5 inch foam. You might ask why we didn't go with thicker foam and like more towards a passive standard, because then we would have to put in an additional rain screen to put the exterior cladding on. So I have a good friend of mine who was our construction consultant, independent, just worked for us. His name is Rhett Major, the energy doctor in Irwin, Pennsylvania. He had recommended this 1.5 inch max. Then we actually put 042 vinyl siding on top of that. And that way we could nail through with 2-inch nails and not have to go to an additional detail of the rain screen and the fact that siding itself, vinyl siding, is sort of its own rain screen in a sense.
For sure.
There's also, I skipped over, there's also Solitex Mento is on top of the foam, top of the foam insulation. So to provide that vapor transparent barrier, Mento 1000, I think it is.
Okay.
And on top of that is where the siding lays.
On top, right. And did you do any vapor barriers on the inside walls?
No. Nope.
Got it. Love it. Just by the nature of modular, I mean, they're foaming and sealing all the interior outlets and structures as well. Did you find that to be the case with SMI?
Yeah. So it was. I love the fact they built it from called the inside out.
Right.
The inside walls went up, and then they put in all the penetrations. And then we actually got to walk through the factory a couple times so I could actually see what they were doing inside the walls and know that they were taking good care to the air sealing detail.
Right. Yeah, perfect. So listen, everybody, if you're just joining us, we are live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, my favorite town. No offense, anybody. But with Bill Spohn. Bill has just built a modular home, and he's going for net zero results with his home. He has his own solar field, so to speak. And I think this is a great conversation so people can really understand the value of what offsite construction means, in this case, modular, and how it can be used to your advantage to achieve these results with a lot less effort than dealing with a full site built home. Is that a accurate way of saying it?
Absolutely. Yeah. They're just, I felt like we get a higher quality product towards what we really want to do. And in terms of, all these effective details coming together with the foam coming together, being sealed properly, so there's minimal thermal bridging, getting all the air sealing details correct, so we can get a nice low blower door score.
Right.
So before we talk about the blower door score, because I know everyone's going to want to know about that, let's talk a little bit more about the process and the level of detail, because one of the barriers to adoption, for homeowners, let's say, is, oh, there's too much detail. I can't handle answering all of those questions up front. What you're describing for us is actually a real win because you went to that level of detail. Not only the result is that you hit everything the first go around. We're not talking about change orders or changes in the field. But the other added benefit here is your future utility bill.
Absolutely. It's
what utility bill?
Exactly.
Yeah. We're using the utility as our battery. The solar's been active since July 13th. And we've been banking our kilowatt hours with the utility because we haven't moved in yet. We're still waiting on a couple appliances. Should be like in the next week, we should get them, be able to move in. So you're seeing a house ready to live in with an occupancy permit, but not being lived in at this point.
Right.
So with that, it looked a little chilly outside, not too bad, for Pittsburgh standards. It looks very comfortable inside right now.
Yeah. So I set the thermostats at like 65. It's a 4-zone system. Because we do have this, I'll turn the camera around a little bit here. We do have this large window array, and we'll take a walk around and see it.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a lot of solar gain coming in there. So
Sure.
we're going to need to modulate different spaces of the house differently.
Yeah.
So we do have 4 zones running.
Hold on now. You can't have all the questions. So we didn't talk about that really much on the exterior, right? Placement of your home and your windows to maximize the solar gain is a big part of this entire design. Can you walk us through that a little bit? And then you can have your question.
Sure. So we had to choose, we chose a site that had a large south-facing view. And what I'm looking up right now is the solar heat gain coefficient. Did I have that listed here? No, I don't. We chose sort of for the south facing, we were going to vary the solar heat gain coefficient, but we decided to go with just one value around the house, so there wasn't any kind of discoloration look to the windows. But it does face exactly south. All the windows face south. What I've noticed in here, there are no lights on. We do have LED lighting, but when I've come over here, since it's been put together, daytimes, you really don't need lights, except in the basement. There's almost no room you need a light in because we have so many windows and we have so much light coming in, the natural light coming in. And part of it, I'll say, is, energy efficiency wasn't the top of our list. Actually, the top of our list was flattering the view. We wanted to have a place that fit in with this and that we really felt like, we enjoyed living here. And then there's the impact of comfort, mean radiant temperature. I could get in all kinds of technical parameters, but it should just feel nice and unobtrusive to live here.
Sure. I mean, you went into the design, thinking about how you're going to take advantage of natural light and probably natural ventilation as well. But equally important is living in a comfortable home that's, beautiful and takes full advantage of the view. And I think that there are 2 types of people out there, or maybe 3, the people who do want that comfortable home. The people who want the look and the feel, the other people who want that high performance passive house standard, and then the people who want to bring those worlds together. And that's where modular construction and working with your architect and working with your surveyors and plotting out exactly where that home is going. I mean, you have a beautiful big piece of land. When you get to those smaller lots, the placement of the home becomes more and more important, just in terms of zoning restrictions and also being able to take advantage of that natural light.
Yeah, for sure. And something else? Bill has that blue tape on his windows because these windows are so good the birds can't even see them.
That's right.
They're not used to the house being there because it went up so fast, right? And these creatures, the birds live.
Yeah.
The birds live in this area, right? And all of a sudden, You know, they keep paying Bill a visit.
You saw them take off outside. Those are
Right,
same
right.
Yeah.
that crashed out here. So
I love it.
Right,
Yep. So
right.
we gotta save the birds.
Yeah.
All right.
So do we want to talk about the blower door test?
sure. Our goal was to hit the passive house standard is 0.6 air changes per hour at 50 pascals. We wanted to hit 1. We weren't going to go as low as passive, and we're homing in on that number. And I say homing in because we haven't done the final test yet. We did a test in April, and the number was about 1.6 ACH 50. And again, our goal was 1. We did a test in September, and the number was 1.2. But we saw a few more opportunities that the builder took care of. And so I'm just waiting to do test number 3. And there still might be even a couple more areas that we could address, but we feel very good about the fact that our blower door number will approach around 630 to 650 ACH 50 for 4,400 square feet of conditioned space.
Wow. Love it. Love it. Let's look at some comments here, Jennifer.
Yeah.
We have Lionel Morenville, I believe is how you say that. Lionel, thanks for joining us. Thank you for sharing your experience.
You're welcome.
Perfect. Adam White. Hey, Adam, what air tightness method did you use? Well, we kind of covered this already, but maybe just run it by him one more time in case Adam missed it. And so you know, this is Adam's world. He paints his car with his product.
And if you want to learn more about Adam.
Yeah, he will be on the show this Friday.
Exactly.
So go ahead, Adam, answer Adam's question there.
Sure. It's a zip wall with the proper tapes rolled, the seams all rolled, and then the attachment points, the nails to attach it to the siding or to the framing were all hit with some Prosoco sealant.
Yeah.
So we went kind of crazy with air sealing details.
And it makes
another interesting thing is the modules coming together, the precision they came together. I think it was about 3/4 of an inch difference over 64 feet that they didn't meet. So they touched at this end, 64 feet down there, they were off by 3/4 of an inch. So that was the gap that they had to seal between the two modules side by side.
Okay, got it. So when we're talking the mate line gap down the center.
Yes.
Yeah. And was with the foundation, but it wasn't a foundation issue. It was more just the lumber that we use in the States is not like the lumber they use in Europe. Yeah.
And the modules were 64 feet long, the max length that they build at the factory and can transport to the site. By one module is 14 and the other one was 13 and a half.
Yeah. Perfect. You know, and just so everybody understands out there, I mean, you know, having, you know, most of the modular manufacturers build a 1-inch gap or half-inch gap down that center line regardless, because wood is not like steel. It is not perfectly straight. So when it comes together, it's a little bit of fudge room, but you have to remember each module is its own independent house, right? So it's not dependent on the wood a half-inch from it whatsoever. So all you had to do is do your insulation and foaming, and you're off to the races.
Right. And the co-owner of EcoCraft, Elliot Fabry Sr., he had mentioned that he had to do a study once on a modular home he was delivering to Delaware or Maryland, I think it was. Yeah. And he had to contract an engineer to study what's going to happen to that module being transported down the road. And it was equivalent to a Richter scale 7 earthquake, something like that.
Right.
That's kind of the rigidity with these are built. These had exterior framing members for the construction process of LVL. They were 64 feet long also. So that was all, you know, I feel like this is absolutely rock solid.
You know, sorry, go ahead. We got so much. So that's an interesting point, right? Here's the difference with most modular manufacturers. SMI for their exterior band joist uses a structural laminated wood, right? An LVL. Yep. That's their standard versus doubling up 2 or 3 2x10s to get the structure. So, you know, these are the little differences that most people wouldn't know between manufacturers because they're not all the same in how they do their construction. So I think that's great. Before we go any further, Adam White had a follow-up question, and this is something, Bill, I can help with if you don't know, but he's asking what connected so these are prefabricated walls, Adam. He said he was putting down his kids. He's across the pond, so he's staying up for us tonight. So he's asking, how did you connect the walls to the prefabricated concrete panels, since this is a component precast foundation?
If I'm not mistaken, I got so many details here. I believe there are bolts.
There
are
HU clips.
Fasteners inside the top of the wall, cast into the top of the wall, and then they spot them and then just drilled through some sort of, I think it was pressure treated lumber that was what they'd set the house upon. I got some pictures of Michael doing it. I remember the guy doing it, but
well, just before we move on from there, again, if you're joining us, if you're new to modular construction, perhaps you're thinking about moving from on-site construction to off-site construction. This is a detail that does create some confusion for builders who haven't done this before. So, typically who is responsible for that work, Dave? Who would be connecting that home to the foundation? And Bill, maybe which trade partner did that, there.
Yeah. It was EcoCraft's team that did it. And they laid, I believe it was just the Mento, the Soltex Mento was laid down as like a capillary break and sort of a finishing wrap so that could then be attached on the outside to the house. And then provide a continuous rain screen and somewhat of an air barrier.
All the way down past, yeah. So Adam, to kind of dive into this a little bit more. So basically they're using threaded rods into the foundation that come up to a metal U bracket, HU80 or whatever they call them. And then they're tying this down to the foundation that way. I don't know why my phone's buzzing like that.
You're breaking all the rules today.
And so, or what they do is they actually will pour a Simpson strong tie strap into the actual concrete, and there'll be a big strap that can come up and also tie it down. So there's several ways
there were straps. Sorry, you got it. There were straps.
They were straps, yeah.
I remember it was strapped down. Yep.
Yeah, so but in some houses in high wind zones, they're going to use both processes and techniques. So these things they're tied in solid. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah. So touching on another point there, when you go through the engineering process, again, if you're new to building modular, when you go through the engineering process, this is where you'll discover, where you are from a zoning perspective, high wind zone, coastal area, and then decide how that house has to be attached to that foundation. What level of security needs to be used based on wind and water and everything else. So again, there are partners out there who help you determine that. It's not up to the builder.
Right.
Yeah. Actually, there's a detail here where we did have to contract with a structural engineer because of this large open space. The 22-foot high ceilings. We had to put in Doug fir 22-foot columns in there as an additional structural member. And then there was a big discussion. Do they go inside the wall? I was worried about thermal bridging. Do they go outside? So we made them actually be an attractive element to the whole.
Yeah. So go ahead.
I want to, just because there's so many myths about modular construction. Number one, you can't have those big open spans.
There's no way that's modular, Bill. Come on.
Right. That's right.
Right. And it's something I've been dying to talk about looking at this beautiful home. So you've made that a design. It's a structural element that has a design aesthetic to it. So instead of saying, oh, we have a problem, no, we actually have an opportunity to add some beauty to our big open space. So you definitely flipped that one on its head. The other things that you both were talking about earlier, driving down the road, these are 64 feet in length. I mean, think about how big a football field is. And then
that's just the units. That doesn't include the 20-foot tractor trailer in front of it.
Exactly. So, in layman's terms, basically what we're saying, these are highly resilient, durable homes that are designed to be driven down a highway. So when you talk about those hurricane tests, and I know we wanted Corbett on the other day, modular construction is designed to epically pass those hurricane tests. So
epically. I
know. It's so beautiful when these things come together.
Yeah. And listen, and can I talk? I'm gonna put my hand up. Can I talk now? So here's the fun part, Bill, right? And no matter what open spans you have in any structure, there's structural engineering that has to take place and take accountability for those structural walls. It made more sense because of the thermal bridging in this instance to not have those beams built into the actual wall of the modular,
Right.
Right. So you determine, just like a site builder would, I'm going to make it an aesthetic appeal to my house that's in this beautiful country where the birds fly into my window, and use that as a structural appeal to the house. So all these decisions, and this is what people need to understand, they're being made in every house.
Yeah.
And
Who makes
it's
them?
how you
That's the
implement it.
question. Yeah.
Yeah. What's that? You got a question?
Me?
Yeah. I saw you raise your hand. You know, Jennifer's taking over. Well, it's her show. I guess maybe I should shut up.
I said, can you still hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. It's who makes those decisions. You said those decisions are being made, but who makes them, with what underlying information, and who's responsible for them, and who has to live with them. So I'll say we got into the hair, not that I have it, but the hair of the builder a little bit. And I actually warned him before we signed the contract that I was going to be needling him with questions. And I did. Hundreds and hundreds of emails. But, we're friends. We learned something in the process about each other, in the process and the building the house. And I think we both got what we wanted from it.
Yeah.
Well, that's just it. I mean, now you've created a formula, if you will, that technically speaking is reproducible. So not only is this a home that you're proud of and excited to live in, but that builder should be incredibly proud as well and use this as a showpiece to show other clients, look, hey, here, this can be done.
Yeah.
Right. And even the factory too, because the factory was asked to do things that were a little bit beyond their comfort zone or a little bit unusual. And they went above 95% of our requests. There was some compromise, but I got to give credit to the crew at SMI. They took it on. They took a hard look at it. I do remember a point when I was visiting the factory, and I believe his name is Kevin. He's a floor manager there, a little bit taller guy, a little bit bigger guy than me. He walked up to me and said, "Mr. Spohn, do you know you have 9 roof lines? 9 roof lines." So, I mean, and things coming together at different angles. And I actually have a really good picture of him standing over the shoulder of a worker, explaining how to put in the roofing material, how to put in the shingles to make sure that we didn't have any water intrusion problems. So really respect and appreciate them for doing that.
Excellent. And you just debunked another myth of modular construction, which is you can only have one roof line. And here we are, with this beautiful home. And again, was this your first time building a high performance home?
First time building a home. We've used homes up to now.
Perfect.
There we go. Because so many people say, first time out, you're going after passive house, like just expect to fail. It's too hard. You can't make it happen. And again, with planning and process, a little bit of research, finding the right factory and the right products, you're close.
Yeah.
Very close.
I love it. So Mark put a good comment up here, and I'm going to put it up just because he's mentioning 2 very prominent people. One we've already mentioned. The other one is another person that you should know, Harris Woodward and Jay Lepley, as you know, from Bensonwood. These are details you are used to. Doug Fir Design with structure benefits for the win. Mark says wood is good. And Harris Woodward, and I like to plug Harris because he's probably one of the first modular builders, and he goes back years and years and years, is Building Modular, NetZero Homes in Baltimore. And he, like others, he doesn't really follow the passive house protocols, but he works to achieve it. And all of his homes are electric as well. So listen, we're really getting in some time here. We're at 47 minutes. Let's talk about, all right, so you have electric heat in this house. You got was it 2.5 ton?
2 ton.
2 ton, right? Condenser for your air conditioner. And what else are you using for a water heater in this house? Is it electric as well?
Well, I do want to say one thing. I forgive my friends out there who I offend. I don't like the mini splits with the warts on the wall, the cassette units. Again, I wanted living here to be almost transparent, like the mechanical systems. Nothing here should be observable, detectable much at all. So this is ducted, air source heat pump with a ducted mini split. So,
got it. Okay.
If we have time, I can show you what that works in the basement. You asked another question that I just forgot.
Well, let's talk about electric homes,
Sure.
because a lot of building scientists lately are recommending we go back to the electric homes, which we had, abandoned, with tremendous passion. So many people thought it was, that wart on the wall, if you will, to use your words. Tell us why more building scientists are moving back in this direction and why you chose to do so as well.
Well, I think my perspective, a lot of building scientists care about the environment and care about where energy comes from. And I just actually attended a presentation by Robert Bean. If you don't know Robert Bean, you should know Robert Bean. He's an ASHRAE Distinguished Lecturer. He talks about the concept of exergy. And all I'll just say about that is if you want to heat a building, you want to heat it in the temperature that people's bodies want the heat to come in. You don't want to produce 3,000 degree flames and then try to back it down to where people need it.
Right.
You want to try to produce it, and an air source heat pump produces right in that correct regime of heating and cooling for people's bodies. So it's really nicely tuned to your objective and your goal. And because it's an air source heat pump, it can be, throttled down. It's got variable speed motors. It can, accommodate little changes in the temperature inside the space. Basically, our system may be running 90-95% of the time, but at a very, very, very low level, just to keep up with the changes in the climate.
Right. I mean, so we're at 49 minutes. I actually saw the guy. I didn't even know he was out there. Harris is watching today from Finish Works. Thanks, Dave. Love this subject. Have an 8,400 square foot home that will be net zero with PV and Mitsubishi HVAC. Well, maybe we should show that.
I know.
That's a big house.
This is what this is all about. It's, what is it? Oh my gosh. The building science fights. I forget who has the podcast, but this is where we're at.
Hey, that's an idea. We can have a whole boxing glove fight going on. So Bill, let's round this out with two things. First thing is, what would you do different if you had to start this process over building modular? And then two, let's get us a walkthrough to wrap out the end of the show.
Sure. In terms of different, there were just some challenges with finding water on the site and realizing that we needed to get a septic system late in the game that caused us some delays. And then this whole thing called COVID, which was about a 6-week delay because of shutdown orders in our state by the governor. So we encountered many delays. I have a delay timeline somewhere archived, and I want to throw it away. So I guess anticipating a little bit more, but heck, we anticipated a tremendous amount. There were really no surprises. I do want to go back to one thing before we talked about maybe half hour ago. Trying to make the choices was a little bit difficult. Some people are not as visual as other people, and seeing something on a screen or in a catalog or whatever versus seeing it modeled. I wish we had more renderings and models, but each one of them, at least for our builder, came at a price. So we had to sort of throttle that aspect versus actually seeing things. We do have some renderings that were done, and I'm going to do some contrasting of that on my website. Actually, I do have a website if people are interested. Spohnhome.com, SPOHNHOME.com, where I'm chronicling this. I have a Facebook page, but I'm moving it over to this to blog to talk about all these details, similar to what we're talking about here today.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull it up while we're talking here real quick and share that with everybody. You said Spohn Home?
Spohn Home, I like it.
Spohnhome.com, yeah. Sort of like phone home, ET phone home. Spohn.
So this photo, I just pulled it up on the website. Is this one of the renderings that you're talking about?
Yeah.
I'm pulling it up now. Not getting off that easy. Here it comes.
I know, but then we do want to see the real thing.
We're going to see it in just a second. There you go. Yeah,
that's
love
right.
it.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I love it.
And is that all vinyl siding on the exterior?
Yes, it is. Yep.
Wow.
And we went with special order 25-foot lengths so that you wouldn't have the seams, especially in the front. So that it would have that kind of maybe a hardy board look, if you will, or just some other different material. We figured like the way we built the walls, they don't really need to have something super resilient on them.
Yeah.
So let's just build them with something more conventional and assert our budget elsewhere.
Well, that is a really interesting point there too. It's all about choices, balancing systems and design elements and how they can come together and not have to sacrifice on either.
That's right.
So this is a terrific example of bringing beauty and science together.
Yeah.
I love it.
Talking about me?
I am. You and Dave.
Thank you.
I know we're close. We're close. All right, Bill, I'm going to switch to your cell phone. Let's pick that up. Make sure we're still connected on it. I'm going to shut this one down. Maybe you can give us a slow walk through the house, show us the kitchen and just some general stuff, and then we'll wrap it up from there.
Sure.
Go ahead.
So you can see it now?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's all you.
So this is a kitchen that's right off of the living room. The living room has the great tall space in it.
Look at that. I love it.
It's a little churchy, and I think I mentioned before we're on Church Lane.
Oh, good. Is that the mechanicals, the coming out of the wall there?
Yeah. So on the far left is the fresh air system,
Yep.
ventilation. These other three are the HAC. This is the V. So I put them out of order. I should have put HVAC. But, this little transom area was a design element that I put in after doing some reading because I wanted to connect the entryway to the main space with light, with sight, with sound, smells, everything. So when you come in, you feel welcome coming to the front door.
Great idea.
This is an electric furnace, or excuse me, electric fireplace, 1500 watt, more for aesthetic and a little bit of warmth. This is the dining room area. And that's the door that we looked at from the other side. I'm going to come in closer here to the door and show you.
Yeah, show us the
Yeah, I
structure.
love these doors.
All right, so we're looking at, it's an aluminum door. Look how thick they are.
It's poly. It means plastic.
Okay.
It's Reho.
Yeah. So walk us through. So you got the double hinges there, that the locking mechanism. I mean, these are thick, heavy doors.
Yeah.
I mean, look above even. Yeah, in the track. Beautiful.
Wow.
So they close like a plug.
How
And then you
quiet
can
is
also
that too?
do the ventilation open, just like a tilt turn, except it's a slide tilt.
Right. Kind of behind the scenes there.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got me here
Love
too. So let's go in the entryway. Get a lot of nice feedback on this door. It's
beautiful.
True. It's called the Axis design. We really loved it when we found it. Sort of complements the cathedral look in here.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Also a nice little design feature here. Cedar.
Okay, so you got a cedar in the entry to make it a nice warm entrance. I love it.
Just to offset it. And then the board and batten for this module, and not module, but for this section. And then also the garage. And then this smoke.
Is that a metal seam roof on top?
Not the roof of the house, but it's metal seam on top of the solar
overhang.
shades.
Yep.
Because again, we wanted to modulate the heat load to meet the design.
So, it's interesting because most people, when they come up to a house, they'll obviously look at the exterior cladding, but as they're standing there in that entryway, talk about a luxury design feature that really pops, adds that warmth and value, but you didn't invest over the entire home. Just
Right.
No, I think you're absolutely right. I'll call it, based upon your comment, distraction.
Yeah.
We distracted him with a nice feature.
Right.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. For sure.
This is going to be my office.
Hey, there you go. You can podcast from there.
So how high are those ceilings, Bill?
9 feet on the first floor. We decided to go with that kind of spacious look to complement the large open area.
And
Powder
did you
room.
choose, are those larger door openings as well?
Yeah, they are. We went like ADA guided size. Just, who knows what's going to happen in the future.
Absolutely. Nice tiled bath. Was that done at
These
the
are
factory, or did you do that locally?
The factory did the tiling, but the finishing was done here on site.
Nice.
And these are low flow toilets with the double button.
Yep.
Yep.
And going into the master bedroom.
Oh, good. You got the sconce lights already on the wall, all
Yep.
done at the manufacturer.
Yep.
Yep. All the outlets, all the trim. So in that room, the only thing that may have been added are the sconce lights, or did they already come installed?
Correct. They just put the J boxes there, and then
Yep.
they added them just from damage, rock
Sure.
shipping.
Mhm.
This is a pocket door to go into the master bathroom.
Right.
And then the sink was put in locally, on site.
Nice.
But the shower was all put in and tiled in the factory.
Yeah.
Wow.
We actually have electric heat
Oh, yeah.
below the floor in the bathroom. Keep our toes toasty.
Yeah.
The commode, everything was done in the factory, all the windows.
Well, Bill, I think next time we're in town, we might have to stop by.
Yeah, you should.
We need a place to stay, right?
We didn't get upstairs yet, so.
Yeah. All right. Well, perfect. Give us a
Walk in.
quick view of upstairs and a
Sure.
view down into that loft area, and we're gonna wrap it up from there.
Yeah.
Okay.
If
Take a
anybody
look at
has,
the mechanicals.
look at the comments while you're doing that to make sure we don't miss any comments from anybody. Paul Garcia.
This is the east bedroom, the west bedroom with a closet, and then a bonus space, which
Yep.
is just going to be conditioned storage.
Nice. I mean, that's the other thing with modular construction. You can really find those nooks and crannies
Yeah.
and make them highly functional.
Right. And this is another nook or cranny here at the end of the store, hallway.
Mhm.
This is the upstairs bathroom.
Love that window.
The tub in it, yeah. Just being able to see outside
Yeah.
in so many different places.
Yeah, I mean, and once the snow comes, not that we really wanted to, that will be even prettier.
Snow.
And here you go.
Beautiful. Look at that view.
It is a beautiful view. Wow.
Dave, you're tall. Can you come change my light bulbs sometime?
Yeah, oh yeah. I'll come. I'll bring my son. I'll just throw him onto that light like a monkey. He'll love it.
And then this is the other bedroom.
So,
Yeah.
well, listen. Let's come back here, and let's wrap it up, Bill. With Bill. Can you believe we're over an hour already?
I sort of can because my voice sounds a little weak, but besides that, I'm having fun.
Yeah. Well, this has been just great. I mean, not only have we talked about passive house, net zero, building science, modular advantages. There's something for everybody in today's show, from homeowners to industry experts. Definitely we'll be taking a look at your website and using that as a resource because, what we're trying to do here as well is increase client demand. The same way you went to your builder and said, hey, I want to do this. We can do this.
Yeah.
That's what we'd like to see more and more people do. We're trying to encourage more traditional site builders to consider offsite construction for the exact reasons that we've detailed today: air tightness, control over the thermal bridging, and how you secure it to the foundation. I mean, these are all questions and concerns that we get from builders all the time. So thank you so much for helping us educate our audience today.
You're very welcome. And I'd love to come back to talk about maybe solar energy, IAQ, mechanical systems, another passion area of mine too. We didn't get to delve into that today. So
yeah, I mean, we didn't even talk about indoor air quality today, but that is, when we talk about comfort and health of your home, obviously, that's what we imply. And that's what clients are looking for today for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And definitely, will you join every once in a while? Join us on BS Friday with Mark. We talk about air indoor quality there. And I have a feeling we're going to have you on that show too, to talk about TruTech Tools and some of your other things, to talk about all the equipment that it takes to actually go out and certify a house and to do the tests on the mechanicals. And, you know, that's what you guys do at TruTech. So and tomorrow, guess what? We got Jenny Kelleher on from Rise.
Thursday.
What's today? Oh, today's only Tuesday. I love it. Thursday, we have Jenny Kelleher on from Rise, which is going to be great. And they're all about performance housing, whether it's new construction or remodeling. And they got a following of over 2 million plus subscribers to their website. And then Friday, of course, we got BS Friday with Adam on. Adam's going to be on. And I have a feeling we're going to be talking about passive purple. And maybe we'll talk about his goats and some other things the guy has.
Yeah, no shortage of topics there. So, but Bill, thank you so much for joining us
absolutely
today.
Welcome.
Hang out. We'll be right back to you. And then
you stay right there. We'll come back to you after the outro. So one last time, please hit that like and share button, everybody. This is an episode of Building Modular with Jennifer Cooper. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Bill, for joining us today.
And if you haven't done so already, get out the vote. Today's your day.
Yes, please.
Bye now.
Do that. Take care.
Bye.